Hello and welcome back everybody to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and welcome to game week 34 of the Championship predictions. So yes, it's that middle round of fixtures in the 3-game week that the clubs are going through at the moment, and so are the fans, of course. All the nails being bitten at this time of the season as we start to get into the real business end of it all. So what happened at the weekend? What were the headlines? Well, Coventry, since they went to second place for that brief, fleeting moment a week or so ago, they now established a 3-point gap again at the top of the table. That was courtesy to their 2-0 win down at across at West Brom at the weekend, and Middlesbrough surprisingly being held at home by Oxford. So a good little gritty point for Oxford, but they're needing more, as we'll see in a moment at the bottom. And Middlesbrough keeping their distance from third place Millwall, who got beat by Portsmouth, and we'll talk about Portsmouth in a moment and the week they've had. So yes, at the top then it's Coventry 65 and Middlesbrough 62 with equal number of games played, which is what we like this time of year. And a couple of other headlines. We've got Gary Rowett. I think I suggested that was in the wind, and it's been made permanent. Well, I say permanent, it's been established that he will be the coach until the end of the season, I guess. Keep a job of keeping them up, which he's pretty good at in the past. He's been around the houses a bit. So hopefully he will, from a Leicester point of view, of course, he will be the one that works, that sort of sprinkles the magic dust on them to save their season. And a little bit of news coming from West Brom. I haven't seen it official yet, but they are talking about possibly already replacing Eric Ramsey, who came over from the American League MLS, as you may recall. And has struggled really to establish any sort of momentum at all since he joined West Brom, and they are now looking, they're still above the line thanks to the results at the weekend, but only 1 point ahead of Leicester, and I think Leicester will make progress under Gary Rowett. So I think West Brom are thinking they've got to act, maybe, but none of that's been confirmed. That's just talk at the moment, paper talk once again, or media talk. So yes, there we are. That's the headlines this week. So what have we got this midweek? We have games across Tuesday and Wednesday. 8 games, is it? Yes, 8 games on Tuesday and 4 on Wednesday to make up the programme of 12. So let's get stuck in then. We'll whiz through these and see what we've got. First up, it's Blackburn Rovers, who had a really good win and a dramatic win against Preston on Friday night to kick us off last weekend. They scored in the 95th minute, 96th minute, right at the death to get a much needed, added value 1-0 win, because they won their previous game as well. They've now got 38 points and they've got a 5-point gap over Leicester at the moment. With the same number of games played, the games in hand are starting to tick away a little bit at the bottom, as we'll see, and it's becoming more of an even playing field, which is great for us to follow. So, and they're taking on Bristol City, who my team didn't do so well once again at the weekend when they really needed to most. They lost. Swansea's home record has been absolutely fabulous recently, by the way, but that's no excuse. They played quite well, but were unable to break down the Swansea. They just haven't got that consistency up front, Bristol City, to, I think, maintain a full-on assault for one of those places in the top 6. So Bristol City, I think, will find it hard going here. Blackburn are on a bit of a run, a bit of a fly, and they'll be looking to take advantage of perhaps a bit of frailty from Bristol City. I think they might just sneak this one, and it'll be Blackburn Rovers 1, Bristol City 0 once again. A really tight game, that, nothing much in it, but I think Blackburn just might have that greater edge to their play. Then we go to Hull City versus Derby County. Next up on Tuesday, or next listed on Tuesday. Hull City, again, their home form let them down at the weekend. Went down by 3-1 to Queen's Park Rangers. So that, again, Queen's Park Rangers are the team nobody would want to play, I would think, because you just don't know what's going to happen with them, what type of mood they're going to turn up in. But they were in a very good mood on Saturday when they put 3 past Hull City. And Hull City then taking on Derby County, who had a rather tame loss because their away form's been really good, Derby, and had a tame loss down at Watford. So Watford are making their sort of move once again, maybe, for those playoff places, which have come a little bit closer than they were before. We'll have a proper look at the playoff places at the end. So I'm going to take this one to be a draw, I think. I'm going to give it quite a high scoring draw. Hull City 2, Derby 2, I think. Goals around there, maybe. Now, Middlesbrough, home, another home chance to sort of claw back something against Coventry. Coventry don't play until Wednesday, so they could close the gap to level points, but Coventry still have that superior goal difference. So Middlesbrough taking on Leicester. Perhaps Leicester will come with a bit more of an open game. I'm sure Oxford closed ranks a little bit and got the point they probably went for. But Leicester may be a bit more open, a bit more expansive, and that might suit Middlesbrough. I think Middlesbrough have really got to crack on with this. I mean, they're 6 points clear of Millwall, 8 points clear of Ipswich, the next 2 teams, but they still don't want to be just dribbling along, do they? They want to try and make their statement. They had such a good run a few weeks ago. Just come to a little bit of a halt. But I think Middlesbrough will take the points here, but it will be really tough to do against a Gary Rowett-driven Leicester side. But I'm just going to take Middlesbrough to see this as a second chance to get 3 home points, if you like, in the space of a short space of time. So Middlesbrough 2, Leicester 1. Swansea against Preston, so 1 on a real high after their 1-0 win over... Well, Swansea on a real high after their 1-0 win against Bristol City. And Preston, of course, couldn't sink much deeper in desperation than losing with the last kick almost of the game on Friday night. Preston still there or thereabouts, 3 points, in that there or thereabouts group that just seem to be queuing up. I think this will be another tough one for Preston, and I think Swansea will take it. Their home form looking pretty good. I'm going to go Swansea 2, Preston North End 0. Watford against Ipswich. Now, Watford, as I say, had a pretty good, decent, routine almost 2-0 win over Derby. Nothing's routine against Derby, a very good side. But Watford certainly pulled out the stops for themselves on the weekend, and Ipswich were involved in the game of the weekend. A 5-3 thriller, try saying that with your teeth in. A 5-3 thriller against Wrexham. Wrexham at the moment just are the entertainers in this league, aren't they? And they're making a point now of being the entertainers that can be successful ones. They're up into the top 6, 3 points behind 4th place. And as I say, that playoff places, much to what I was saying a few weeks ago, starting to close up. So Wrexham on 51 are the last placed team at the moment. So they're the entertainers. Ipswich will. They were 3-2 up as well, Ipswich, and ended up losing 5-3. Can you believe? So 2 good sides, I'm sure. I didn't see any of the game, to be fair. So Ipswich will go to Watford. I think still pretty. To score 3 at Wrexham is good, but not obviously you don't want to be letting goals in like they did. So I think this could be another entertaining one, and I'm going to take Ipswich just to nick it. I'm going to go Watford 2, Ipswich 3. More goals, isn't it? So, what have we got next? 3 to go on Tuesday, and the first of those is West Bromwich Albion against Charlton. Now, West Bromwich Albion are in desperate trouble, aren't they? Eric Ramsey hasn't had the effect that the club wanted him to have on the team as yet. They're really stumbling around. The fans aren't happy. Nobody's happy. We wouldn't be happy when you're fumbling around at the bottom like they are. There's now a 4-point gap between West Brom and Blackburn, so almost the bottom 4, a little bit detached at the moment. They're playing Charlton. Charlton, who had a really good 1-1 draw down at Southampton. A late equaliser, I think, if I recall. So Southampton will have been disappointed with that, but that's another story, I guess. So Charlton Nathan Jones would have been happy to nick that point, wouldn't he? Goodness knows what he was dancing around on the touchline. Being an ex-manager, and it didn't go so well for him down there. They didn't really take to him. He didn't take to them, I don't think, and it all fell apart quite quickly. So he was quite pleased, I'm sure, as his coach pulled it, or his bus pulled out of the ground on Saturday night. So I think Charlton, this is a huge game. This is not last chance for Loon for West Brom, but goodness me, what a match it is for them. But I think Charlton will take a point here as well. I'm going to give West Brom a goal, which is a rarity. I'm going to go West Brom 1, Charlton 1, which will much suit Charlton. They're on 40 points now. Much more suit Charlton to get a point there than it will West Brom. They can't afford too many more games without winning now. So we'll see. And will Eric Ramsey still be in charge by the end of the week? We don't know. We should know by the clip for the weekend. What have we got then? Wrexham versus Portsmouth. Now Portsmouth have had a fantastic week, and I think that was building up. They had 2 good performances without getting a point or a goal, and now they've had 2 away performances, which is 2 away games rather, which has never really been their strong suit since they got back to the Championship. But have 2 away wins was excellent. Brilliant win down at Charlton last week, when a real 6-pointer that was. And then they went to 3rd place Millwall, who are still 3rd place, and took the points as well in a really good second half performance. Scored 3 goals, all the goals were in the second half, I believe. Yeah, they were. There's no half time. So fair play to Portsmouth, who've given them some breathing spaces themselves, some breathing space as well. 39 points, 6 points above Leicester. I think Leicester will still make a move, but they've got to do it soon. And of course West Brom, 5 points behind them now. So really good week for them. A really tough one this though. Can they make it 3 in a row away from home? These 3 away games that they sort of were, I think the fans were certainly slightly concerned about at the start of this run, but this is a free hit for them. Why not? They've got their 6 points. There's more than probably they expected to get over the 3 games. So they can go to Wrexham, take the shackles off, really say, hang on, we're in good form at the moment. We know you are, but we're not going to just stand here and sort of play a low block or anything like that. But I think Wrexham might just have enough. Their home form has been good, been excellent in fact. And I think it'll be Wrexham 3, Portsmouth 1, but don't put a little star against that, as Portsmouth may well spring a surprise again, as they did at Millwall. Southampton and Queen's Park Rangers finishes the Tuesday night programme, and it's another home game for Southampton, so another game that they can't really afford to drop points in, and it's against the who knows what Queen's Park Rangers team. Who knows what they're going to be playing like when they rack up at your place. Well, they're racking up down at Southampton, St Mary's. Fresh on the hot on the heels of their excellent 3-1 win at Hull, so right down to the other end of the country. And can they disturb Southampton? I think Southampton will. They need to win this to have any real chance of poking into the playoffs. Really, I know it's not down to these 1 games yet, but you can't keep on having the games left and not getting the points. And the 3 points is obviously the main aim. I think they'll just do it. I'm going to give Southampton a home advantage, but only just. Southampton 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. So that's Tuesday. Now the 4 games left on Wednesday kick off down at the New Down with Millwall once again. Millwall against Birmingham City. Now Birmingham City had a fabulous 2-1 win at Norwich. That's probably almost worth a headline when I mentioned it earlier on. Norwich have been excellent, haven't they, in recent weeks? And I have them down to beat Birmingham, that's for sure. But Birmingham are just now, are they at last showing what their owners really wanted them to be at the top table? They're in 7th place, nestling above their sort of rivals, if you like, as they came up with Wrexham last year. So they finally sort of poked up to the areas of the top areas of the table. We shall see if they can maintain it or sustain it. I think they might just nick this one. Their form is looking good now, Birmingham. Just starting to play with a bit of panache. And I'm going to take Birmingham to take the points by 2-1 down at Millwall. but it'll be a tough one. Millwall won't want to lose back-to-back home games. Goodness me, that will shake the locals. 3 games to go. Norwich City against Sheffield Wednesday. Norwich City, as I say, this is a chance to get their home record back on track. Sheffield Wednesday officially were relegated at the weekend when they lost the Sheffield derby by 2-1. A bit more of a competition than it was on the first match. I think it was a routine away win for Sheffield United in the first match, but this was much more. I watched quite a bit of it. It was a good watch. Some unsavoury stuff as well, a couple of red cards and stuff. But it wasn't to be for Wednesday, the last Sheffield derby for a while. So they are up against Norwich, and I think Norwich will be a bit more ruthless maybe than they were at the weekend. And I'm going to take Norwich 3. Norwich to win the game. Norwich 3, Sheffield Wednesday 0. 2 to go, and Sheffield United, who are now just smelling the playoffs from a little bit of a distance. They are 6 points behind. A lot of teams to leapfrog over, and that's the thing. With all these teams looking at the points difference is certainly manageable. But when you've got to leapfrog or stave off 7, 8 other teams, it's just a lottery, really. So every point counts, etc., etc. So Sheffield United home to Coventry. Now, will Coventry withstand this? Is a difficult place to go, but Coventry seem to be getting their mojo back for sure. And they will want to certainly match what Middlesbrough do the night before. So they want to win the game, but you know what I mean? They will probably settle for doing what Middlesbrough do the night before, maybe, especially if they win, of course. I think this is going to be a tight one, so I'm going to take a draw. Sheffield United aren't losing many at home. If they can keep 11 players on the pitch, that would help. So I'm going to tell Sheffield United 1, Coventry 1. And finally, last but never least, Stoke City against Oxford. Stoke City could now well be almost the mid-table team that everybody might want to play, because there's not a lot to play for, maybe. It's a big ask to make up 7 points now with all the, as I say, all the other teams involved. They're probably safe, 11 points clear of relegation. So they are the team, a bit like Swansea last year, if you remember. The team that just sits now will sit in the middle of the table, possibly for the rest of the season. The manager won't like that, as a summary of it all. But this is a game against Oxford, who showed what they're capable of, defensively anyway, by shutting out Middlesbrough on Saturday. I think Stoke may just take this one, but it'll be tight. I'm going to go Stoke 2, Oxford 1, leaving Oxford still in trouble. So there we are, the midweek madness that is about to embark upon us. So there we go. What will happen? It'll be all change again, I doubt. All the teams shuffling around in the playoff area. As I say, there's now only between 4th place Ipswich. They've got 4th, 5th and 6th, I think, suddenly up for grabs a little bit. If a team can really make a run from that group, that pack, they have a real chance. With teams knocking points up with Millwall and Ipswich and Hull all losing at the weekend, has opened up a little bit of an opportunity, possibly. We shall see. Will that come to being as we go through this week? So there we are. The midweek games all ready to go. Have a great midweek. Enjoy whatever football you watch, and please subscribe to the channel if you can, if you haven't done, rather, and like the bits and pieces as well, and have a look around on the channel. It's a really good one for your sport. Okay, that's me. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you towards the weekend. Have a great week.